Let's talk some sports, baby.
And then remember, make tomorrow better than today and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.
All right, guys, we're on over to the NFC slate next up. First up, we're going to see the Los Angeles Rams heading to Seattle at 4:40 today. The Rams found their mojo again this season, led by defensive superstars Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. They're getting more familiar faces back healthy, but questions at quarterback remain with Jared Goff's thumb injury. If he can't go, John Wolford gets the nod. As of this morning, we really don't know yet who that's going to be. Meanwhile, Seattle had a great year, but at times they struggle to figure out the defensive side of the ball. But with Russell Wilson, you don't need to give him too much for a big return. So, Jay, is Goff's health the key factor in this game, or does it even matter?
I think I'm not sure if it even matters, to be honest with you. I've said on a couple of occasions, I don't think Jared Goff's been, nothing to write home about this year. 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. I mean, that's not gonna get the blood pumping all that much. I mean, and then we look at John Wolford in week 17. I had to obviously utilize some search engines to figure out who this guy was.
Okay, hold on. I'm glad you said it because I was about to ask, who the hell is John Walker? Like, who is that?
This is when he plays college ball at Wake Forest, and I don't. Outside of that, I mean, I don't. I saw what I saw on Sunday. I got to admit to you, I was a wee bit impressed.
They won a game.
They Saul McVay, he altered the game plan, seemingly a little bit. I'll tell you one thing, he's got some real athleticism. He can move around. He can run the football quite effectively. He's got more mobility than Jared Goff, and he used that to his advantage against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 17. So that's a thing to be encouraging. And as I have often wondered, how we always have the for years, and I'm sure this sort of debate will continue to raise is it Bill Belichick or is it Tom Brady? I don't think we have this debate here. Is it Jared Goff or Sean McVay? I think it's Sean McVay. I think we can go ahead and close the book on that one. Because if he can come out here and make it work with John Wolford, he can make it work with I don't even know. Maybe Sean McVay is the guy that can make the Denver Broncos zero quarterback practice squad wide receiver offense work as well. We'll give him a call on that shortly. But with all that being said, this obviously it's an interdivision game. These teams have seen each other twice this year. Let's see what happened. I'm trying to look it up right quick. I didn't have it. Why can't I find it? The Rams. Okay, so the Rams took one of these games 23-16, and then the Rams. Okay, did the Rams win both of them? Nope. They split. Sorry for the research department. They're moving a little slow right now. So these two teams split their game. That's probably what we expect. I think these are two pretty well much evenly matched teams. Seattle's defense, I think, has come a long way throughout the season. Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, those guys, what they do on the back end with Diggs playing center field, Jamal Adams wreaking havoc down near the line of scrimmage.
Don't forget Carlos Dunlap.
Yeah, I was just getting to that. So he's added, a little bit of juice to the pass rush. The Rams defense, they've been surprisingly strong, throughout the season. We make the little, you got to pay your bills joke, every now and again, but they've made it work. They got those two foundational pieces, with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. Those guys can get it done. But in the end, it just, you get a feel as much as admirable and as good a job as I think Sean McVay has done this year. With Jared Goff being the feature part of this offense with no Todd Gurley anymore. Cam Akers has come on the scene. He's played well. We know about Robert Woods. We know about Cooper Kupp. But I think there's just too much risk here involved to pick against the Seattle Seahawks. In the end, it's Russell Wilson, it's Pete Carroll. They're playing in Seattle. I'll be pretty surprised if Seattle can't find a way to win this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. I like the spread 3 points. That's about right. Seattle, they're not known as a team that just like come and roll you over. They not to say they haven't had blowout wins this year. They have, but They play a lot of close games. And then with it being the Rams, Sean McVay, he done seen the Seahawks a lot. Him and Pete Carroll, they're pretty chummy. They done seen each other so much. So, I mean, this is the problem when you have these, like, divisional type of games. Like, we was talking about Pittsburgh and Baltimore earlier. Like, when you, Pittsburgh and Cleveland earlier. When you have these games that's, division games throughout the season, you done seen it so much, you kind of got a feel with how it might play out. This one is a little special because, Jared Goff might not play. But as Jay said, Waffle might actually get them a little more when it comes to getting out of that pocket. We know Seattle defensive line, they got better since they acquired Carlos Dunlap. We know the secondary, they got better since they acquired Jamal Adams. So the Seattle defense, for once, might be the savior. The offense, listen, I had Seattle as my Super Bowl pick before the season. I'm going to say this every time because I believe in Russell Wilson. I like DJ Metcalf. I like Tyler Lockett. Greg Olsen get his shine on every time he get a chance. And then, Dwayne Brown don't seem like he's too bad. I mean, Russell Wilson, I think his style of play would make you assume that the offensive line is playing at a lower level than what they should be playing. But I think the offensive line, to be honest with you, they kind of hold up if Russell Wilson don't do what he does back there in the pocket. I'm not knocking it because it works. It had him in the MVP conversation earlier in the year, so it does something. But I just it's no way I can see the Rams beating Seattle on this stage in the playoffs. I think Seattle will win this game. I think the 3 points is good. I like the 42-point under and over. I'm gonna take the under. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of scoring in this one. So I'm looking at this one. I gotta think Seattle can put up at least 21 points, at least 21, but 21 probably get it done. I'm looking at 21-17. Yeah, I'm gonna say 21-17 Seattle, something around that range.
Kind of an ugly slugfest. I like it. Yeah, I think for this, I mean, again, it comes down to the Seattle defense. Can they do what they need to do? I mean, this is a defense that has started off the season bad, and then they got abhorrently bad. And pass rush was a lot of it, but they just had blown assignments and missed coverages, and they were screwing around left and right. And then they kind of figured it out the last couple of weeks of the season. They started getting really, really good. So if that momentum continues and these guys are coached well and they know what they're doing, man, they'll be okay. I mean, if you can get that kind of defense to show up and you have Russell Wilson, you're going to win most of your games. I mean, that just is what it is. But, the one thing I'll say for the Rams, if you're looking at their matchup against Seattle on their side of the defensive side of the ball, they've had some games they've shut down some of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, DK Metcalf with Jalen Ramsey on him had a two catch 28-yard performance.
Right.
Russell Wilson was bad in that game. The game they lost, he was 248 yards, 2 picks, wasn't very accurate. He was also their leading rusher, so I'm just a little, the only concern I have for Seattle is if that Rams secondary, as good as they are, do start shutting down and putting the clamps on the passing attack, can the Seahawks run the ball? Can they switch gears and go, okay, well, let's do this then? And maybe they can, maybe they can't. I know they got some decent guys and Chris Carson and whatnot, but that's not something they've always been able to flip. So with that being said, I think that if Jared Goff can't play, then John Wolver's not going to come beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle in the playoffs. Like, fans, no fans, I don't care. It's not happening. So if Goff plays and that happens, this game probably stays within the spread and it's close. But if Goff's out and that Seattle defense shows up today, then yeah, forget about it. It's going to be a easy Seattle win. All right, next up, we got Tampa Bay hitting the road for a game Saturday night against the football team. Washington won the NFC least at 7-9. Therefore, they host a playoff game. They do have Alex Smith's resurgence, a competent head coach, and a ferocious front seven on defense. Meanwhile, we're all familiar with the Bucs' hilariously star-studded roster, but strange up and down season. So, Drink, it's got to be easy for Tampa, right?
Oh, no, man. Listen, I think it's a reason why this game is coming on at 8:15. I think this is the most intriguing game of the weekend. I really do. Listen, I got it. The football team, this should be a smoke check. But listen, I would say this. If you go back and you look at that front, just the defensive line of Washington this year, the quarterbacks that gave them the most problems are mobile quarterbacks, rightfully so, right? They can get out of dangerous situations. They can extend plays, and they can they can put a little white out on their mistakes when you got a mobile quarterback. Well, Tom Brady he's a lot of things, but mobile ain't one of them right now. So I do think that line will have a chance to bow up. Now, one of the problems we have with Tampa Bay in the beginning of the season that seems to be showing up week after week after week that they got better at was the offensive line. I'm hearing Tristan Wirfs from the start to now. This dude is a borderline Pro Bowl right tackle. That's what I'm hearing. A lot of good things about Tristan Wirfs. Why does that matter? Well, Tristan Wirfs, majority of his assignments for this game is going to be against Chase Young. That is his side. So if Tristan Wirfs can get, let's say, he can make 70% of his blocking packages, I think Tampa Bay is a really good situation. However, if he cannot do that, and he does struggle with Chase Young on the snaps that he needs to have control, that's going to allow the Jonathan Allens, the Deron Payne, the other 4 first-round picks they got on the line to get the Tom. One thing I learned about Tom, yeah, he'd have GOAT. He'd have done it all. He'd have done it on the biggest stages. Got it. When you start getting him rattled, he does get frustrated and then want to start yelling at people and start doing this and doing that. And I'm telling you right now, Bruce Arians don't seem to be the guy that's on board with Tom Brady antics. I'm gonna just be real here. He seems like, listen, Tom, I got you the gold and everything, but dude, you was at fault just like everybody else. That's his attitude. Like, you're no better than anybody else on this team. He don't pander to him. He actually talked down on him on a couple of occasions. But I feel like that defensive line, that's the game. To me, the game is the trenches for this one. Can Washington defensive line dictate to Tampa Bay's offensive line? That would decide the game. Because whoever wins that matchup right there, most likely will win the game. Why do I say that? I don't think Washington can do anything with Tampa Bay's front seven. You just go ahead and cut it what it is. We don't even know how many snaps Alex Smith is going to take. That's their best quarterback. So then when you try to add whoever else, because we heard Ron Rivera, this is what we do know. Ron Rivera said most likely they would have to run a 2-quarterback set. Why would he do that? Because Alex Smith, he don't believe Alex Smith will be healthy enough to come in this game and play the whole game. So if you run a 2-quarterback set, that tells me right now, whoever this second cat is, he better be coming here balls to the wall. And I just don't think so. I don't think Washington defense is going to I don't think Tampa Bay's defense is going to let whoever the second guy come in. And I wouldn't say the Washington offense was going to be a powerhouse with Alex Smith, to be perfectly honest with you. But it would have been the best shot that you would have had against Tampa Bay defense. So with all that said, I am very intrigued to see this game. I see Tampa by 8. Okay. I can go with the 8-point spread right now. The over under is 44. Okay, I'll probably take the under. Because if it go over, it's just because Tampa Bay going to be out here. It won't be because of Washington. Let's go ahead and cut that right now. It'll be because of Tampa Bay. So with that said, I'm looking at this. I say Tampa. I think 31 points get it done for Tampa. I really do. Tampa 31, Washington 17, 14, something that they won't score a lot of points. That's how I see it. But I will say, like I said, the matchup is Washington defensive line versus Tampa Bay offensive line. Whoever wins that matchup will win the game.
Yeah, I'll go back to something that I kind of teased in the last show, and that's the old Washington. They got I'm coming in with a new name. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm doing something. I'm taking the first half of the old name and the second half of the new name, and I'm throwing them together. So the Washington, they're now the red team. That is what they are. They're the red team, which is interesting because the current red team that we have is about to be overthrown by the blue team. But you know, if you didn't catch that one, it's okay. We'll fill you in later. Listen, but you know, I would really love to pick Washington in this game. I think the Ron Rivera, Alex Smith. I think, you know, as far as, you know, just guys that you want to root for. Those are two guys that you can just rally behind. Whether it's Ron Rivera, you know, beating up on cancer. Alex Smith overcoming, you know, just beating all the odds possible. You know, some people, you know, you go back to that, you know, some people, you know, some of the initial
17 surgeries.
17 surgeries. Was he even going to have that leg anymore? It's just, and now something just came out. Ian Rappaport is telling us that the calf injury has Alex Smith trending in the wrong direction. It's looking increasingly like Taylor Heineke might start this game. So, with that, if you gave me Ron Rivera and a Alex Smith that was capable of playing this game, I would pick Washington, because this Washington defense, it's something to behold. And this defensive line, if you ask me, who's going to win that battle at the line of scrimmage when Tampa Bay has the ball, I think Washington's defensive line is gonna make a strong case. And to that point about Tristan Wirfs or Donovan Smith, whichever offensive tackle you want to point to, Tristan Wirfs can very well win a high percentage of his blocks. The problem with that is Chase Young only needs to get a few big wins. It only takes you missing one blocking assignment to force that key turnover that can turn the game. However, if it's Heineke, back there under center, I'm not sure if that's just going to be a tough ask. If you combine Ron Rivera and Alex Smith's experience, I think Washington could very well win this game. But if it is going to be Heineke, that's too much for me. And I got to say Tampa Bay wins this game by multiple scores with the lack of quarterback experience Washington's going to have.
Yeah, with that news, that really kind of sours any chance you think Washington would have. I mean, I get the individual argument that, you look at the individual matchups, Washington looks like a really good team that could, sort of dethrone Tampa. But Washington was 7-9 for a reason. I mean, there's still a lot of issues in this roster. They got a lot to work on. And I think that Tampa, one of the things that might be a bit undersold is Tampa Bay's defense is pretty good too. I mean, we talk about how great Washington's is. Well, Tampa Bay has the best run defense in the league, and it's not close. I mean, there's really no like second is a pretty distant second. They're pretty good pass defense as well. They have a lot of good talent on the defensive line, some hired guns, but hey, they're there and they're doing the thing. The secondary's gotten better. These guys have really improved as a unit. Jamel Dean's had a good season. Carlton Davis, I think they're going to get him back for this game, so that'll be a big pickup. Great safeties. So I think that Tampa Bay, if nothing else, they can do enough on defense to make up any early lapses on offense, 3 and outs, big sacks, maybe not great field position. I think the defense can play them out of some of that. And then eventually Tampa Bay's offense is going to figure it out. Tom Brady's going to rise up to what they're doing. He's going to make the adjustments. And Washington, they're just not going to have the firepower. Even with Alex Smith, I would take Tampa Bay in this, but without Alex Smith, then yeah, this one could get ugly, but we'll see. All right, so the other sort of lopsided matchup of the weekend is 4:40 Sunday. Chicago Bears lost their season finale, and the reward is a trip to the Superdome to face the loaded Saints. The Bears will have nothing to lose, really, while the Saints, no doubt, are thinking Super Bowl for Drew Brees' last ride. So, Jay, any surprises in this one?
I'm treating this one like a rapid reaction. I don't know what the Bears are doing here. New Orleans wins this game. There's no excuse here.
Yeah.
This whole thing where New Orleans finds the most hilarious and just comical and just tragic ways to lose year after year. No way in hell they lose this game. It shouldn't be close. I don't even know. When the NFL made the decision to have expanded playoffs, you just knew there was going to be. I mean, Chicago, to me, they're just as fraudulent as Washington is. No reason they're even in this, and no reason they are even sniffing the next round. Get them on out. New Orleans, please do your job. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, that great New Orleans defense, Alvin Kamara, and all the rest of them. Get these dudes out of here and back to Chicago where they belong.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I'm gonna keep this sweet. I just gotta ask this question. Give me one area that Chicago is better than New Orleans. All right.
They have Cordell Patterson. He's fast. There we go.
I mean, he is. He on the All-Pro team, so.
Yes, sir.
Right. But if you depended on Cordell Patterson, you'd have lost already.
I got one. Mitchell Trubisky will have more rushing yards than Drew Brees.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but he won't have more rushing yards than Taysom Hill. So, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the Cordell Patterson thing. That is true, but that ain't gonna get it done. So, like Jay said, this is a rapid reaction. You can't give. I don't even know where I can give Chicago. Hey, you made it. I mean, the game got to get played. That's about the best I can give you. You got this. This is why we played the games. Like, I give you that. But outside of that, I just don't see. what the hell do Chicago got that's better than New Orleans? Unless New Orleans come out here and give us a welcome mat performance, I don't see it. I just don't see it. This ain't Green Bay. This ain't Minnesota. This ain't no team that can go and take advantage of them in the trenches and all this other stuff. I don't know. I got New Orleans. What they got? 10. They gave them 10. Or yeah, I got New Orleans by that whole 10 spread. And I take the over because New Orleans can put up some points, especially when Michael Thomas back. But that's it. Chicago, thanks for coming. We got refreshments in the back. We'll see you next year. Like, we out of here.
Yeah, a little argument here myself. I like how we just took a 7-9 team. We were like, well, maybe they can do it. Here's how. And then
because they have.
But
look, here's the thing.
I get it. Yeah.
Like Washington has an area that you can look at and say that front four. You can look because they got our first round picks. You can say Washington could have a better defense line in town. You can say that. Where the hell can you say that for Chicago?
You can. That's the thing. If the Saints weren't such a balanced team, I think maybe that Chicago defense, if they play kind of above their heads or how they maybe should play, there could be something to that. They could maybe get a couple turnovers, make it a game. You know, it's football. Anyone with turnovers can make something happen. But the Saints, man, they're just so low. I think people forgot, or they didn't really forget, but they kind of flew under the radar almost, like how good they've been. 12-4. Drew Brees didn't even play half the season. They were just whatever. They just kept winning games. Like, we know at least one of those wins has an asterisk, but got to move on from that. It's just they're so loaded. It's going to be a disappointment if this team isn't in at least the NFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. So yeah, the New Orleans, you get a nice tune-up game, get them all out of the Superdome, and move on.